Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to get ahead. As you know, we'll be going back to school very shortly, and these lessons I'm going to be putting on are about maths and what your child can expect to learn in their first few maths lessons back at school. I'm going to continue to put these videos on for each thing that's going to come up in maths, so hopefully they can get ahead and stay ahead and be prepared and feel more confident in their lessons. So this lesson is for year 5, and it's all about place value, and we're going to be talking about numbers up to hundreds of thousands and possibly just looking at millions quickly, as that's what they'll be expected to do when they go back in September. So first things first, I want you to look at this is called a place value chart, and it's what the children are most likely going to be using to help them work out the values of some really big numbers. So let's see if we can put these numbers into the chart, starting with the first one here, 456. So we're going to need to put 4 in the hundreds, 5 in the tens, and 6 in the ones. And the children need to know that this is not the number 4. This represents 4 hundreds. This represents 5 tens, which would be 50. And this represents 6 ones. So that one's done. Let's have a look at number 2. And these numbers get progressively bigger as we go along. So this time we've got 4 digits. So we're going to have 1 in the thousands. We're going to have 5 in the hundreds. We're going to have 2 in the tens. And we're going to have 5 in the ones. Now, what we try to ask the children to do is to put a comma after the thousands as good practice. So this number would now read 1,525. This number representing 500s and this number representing 1,000. Okay, number 3, this time we've got 5 digits here. So we've got a 2, a 5, a 3, a 0, and a 0. So working from the ones, there's going to be 0 ones, there's going to be 0 tens, there's going to be 3 hundreds, there's going to be 5 thousands, and there's going to be 2 tens of thousands. Okay, that's what this digit, when it appears in this column, represents tens of thousands. So that's 20,000. So this number, when we read it, is 25,300. Okay, on to another number, and they're getting slightly larger again. So this is the expectation in year 5 that children can read numbers up to hundreds of thousands. So we've got 6 digits. We've got, starting from the ones, we've got 0 in the ones column, 0 in the tens column. We've got 4 in the hundreds, so 400. We've got 2 in the thousand. We've got 6 in the tens of thousands, but now we've got a number in the hundreds of thousands column, which is 1. So this number then is 162,400. And finally, another number with 6 digits. We have 0 in the ones. We've got 0 in the tens. We've got 0 in the hundreds. We've got 0 in the thousands, but then we've got 6 in the tens of thousands. So that number would be 60,000. And we put a comma there after the thousands. And we've also got a 5 in the hundreds of thousands. So when read, this number says 560,000. Okay, so numbers can also be represented in the place value charts, but not with digits, but with counters. Looking at this one here, what do you think this number represents? Well, if we work on the basis that this 0 here means ones, the T means tens, the H means hundreds, the TH means thousands, and the TTH means tens of thousands. So how many counters do we have in the ones? We've got 2. How many counters do we have in the tens? We've got 3. We've got 3 in the hundreds, and we've got 1 in the thousands, and we've got 6 in the tens of thousands. So when we write this number down, okay, now just be careful. This doesn't mean 6, it means 6 tens of thousands. So that is 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. So the final number is 61,332. Okay, and you just need to remember that these counters, that's not 1, it's 100, because it's in the hundreds column. Okay, so let's look at another one together, shall we? So this time, have a go, pause the video here, see if you can work it out for yourself first. These lessons are designed to be interactive, so you should be having a go at this at home to help you learn. Okay. So going through this, we've got 1 in the ones column, which we can put there. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 in the tens column, which would represent 90. We've got 5 in the hundreds column. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8 in the thousands column. And we've got 1 in the tens of thousands column. So this number that we see here represented with counters is 18,591. How did you get on? Did you get that answer? Hopefully you did. Okay, so this time, just a different variation on that same question. This time we're giving the number, but it's asking us to draw the counters in. So let's see if we can have a go at this. So starting now then, this is where we need to recognize we've got 3 digits. So we've got hundreds, tens, and ones. So how many ones do we have? We have 6. That means that I need to have 6 counters in the ones column to represent those 6. Okay. Then I've got 1 in the tens column. So I need 1 counter in the tens. And then I've got 4 in the hundreds column, which means I need 4 counters in the hundreds. So this number now should be 416. This time we've got 5 in the ones column. We've got 0 in the tens column. So we can leave that blank because we don't want to draw any counters in there if there's no value in that column. We have got 3 in the hundreds column though. And we've got 2 in the thousands. So 2 counters in there. And we've got 2 in the tens of thousands. But just remember, this doesn't mean 1,000, 2,000. This is in the tens of thousands column. So that is actually 10,000. And that counter is 10,000, meaning that that is 20,000 there. That is 2,000, that is 300, and that is 5. 22,305. Okay, next thing is bar models. So another way that you might be asked to represent your number in class, and you might wait to learn about this, is through a bar model. So with a bar model, you have the total is the full bar at the top. So you can see here, that's the total. That's the number as a total. But underneath, it might be split into different bars, representing the size of those numbers. So here we've got 67,611. We've got the 67,000 there as a big bar, because that's the majority of that number, most of that number. But then we've got a missing part here. Well, the missing part we know is this 611. So then we could write that in, and then we know that that part plus that part makes that part. Another name for this is called the part-part whole, because you've got 2 parts and that makes a whole over here. Here, interestingly, we've got a big space missing, but we've got 8,000. Now, what else is missing from this number? Well, it's 78,319. So we know that 70,000 is missing, but be careful because the 319 is also missing. So we also need to write that in as well. Okay, so we've got 70,319 plus 8,000 would make that total. For this number, B, we've got the missing number is actually the total this time, but we do have the 2 parts. So a bit more simpler, we have to put those 2 parts together. So we're going to put 50,470 together. So that would make 50,470. And over here, we've got the whole again. We've got a small part, but we're missing a bigger part here. But we've got 400, so we're also missing the ones, 6 ones. So what we need to put in here is 93,400. No, we don't need to do that. We need to put 93,000 because we've already got the 400, don't we? So we're going to put 0 in the hundreds column, 0 in the tens column, but we are missing the ones. There's no ones here, so we're going to put the 6 in. And what that basically means is if I add that part and that bit together, those 2 parts would make that total, that whole there. So that's bar models. So how does this apply to SATs questions, which the children will be assessed in their Year 6 tests? Now, I know this is a Year 5 video, but all the children right from Year 3 to 6 are working towards that same endpoint. So here the question shows you've got 6,000 plus 90. So what it's asking us to do is put those two parts together. What would the total be? And it's tried to trick children slightly by putting the equal sign in the middle. But if I add those two parts together, I'm going to have 6,000, 0 in the hundreds, 0 in the tens. No, we're going to have 9 in the tens, we're going to have 0 in the ones. So the answer to this question, correctly answered, would be 6,090 when we add those two parts together. And here are some similar questions set at a year 5 level. So if you want to pause the video here and have a go at trying to put these parts together and fill in the missing boxes. So we've got 42,000, we've got the 2,000 here, so what's missing? We've got 40,000 missing. B, we've got 17,000 equals 10,000. We've got the 50, but we're missing the 7,000. And we're missing the 200. So those are the missing parts there. For C, we've got 20,455, and all of it is missing. So I'm going to partition it into the different parts, starting with the 20,000. Then we're going to have the 400. Then we're going to have the 50. And then we're going to have the 5. Now notice here how there wasn't anything in the tens of thousands column. So there wasn't any in the thousands column, so I didn't need to include it. So I've got 20,450 and 5. When you put all those parts together, you make that total. Here we've got 70,090. Interestingly here, we are given 10,000. So if I take 10,000 away from 70,090, I'm going to put the 90 in first because that makes it easier. But 10,090, what else is missing to make that total? Well, an additional 60,000 would be needed. So I'll put that in. And when you add those parts together, you're getting that total of 70,090. And finally, 50,641. This time we're given the 341. We're given 40,000. So what's missing? Well, to make 641, we would need an extra 300. And to make 40,000 become 50,000, we would need an extra 10,000. So when all of those parts are put together, we've got 40 and 10, which is 50, 300 and 341, 641. So all of those parts put together would make 50,641. Okay, so this is the expectation at the end of 5 in regards to place value. It's likely that their first few lessons in Year 5 maths will be about these things. So I hope this video was useful, giving you an idea of what the expectation will be in those first few lessons so that you know. If you found the video useful, then please hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe for more videos helping you with primary education. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.